play that thing. Let me go in there.
Hi, Carol. Thank you for being in here for a special episode of Hop Connections. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm great. I'm so excited to be on your show, and I just think it's a wonderful thing, and I hope harpists will just love this show.
I hope so too. Tell us a little bit about your music journey and how do you end up with a harp?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I grew up in a musical family. They were pianists mainly, and my mother was a singer. And so I was taken to the symphony in Detroit often. And in the back of the symphony, there was this gorgeous thing with a gold crown. And I thought, oh man, someday that's what I want to play. Well, of course, I got piano lessons because I was in a household of pianists. And I studied piano, and uh, I eventually ended up at the University of Michigan, and I have a degree from there in vocal instruction, vocal. But I always wanted the harp. And one day I was at my friend who was in the rich neighborhood. We were at her house playing out in the backyard, and the girl next door was there. And her mother came to the door and she said, Diane, it's time to come and practice your harp. And Diane said, oh man, I have to practice. Blah. And she dragged into the house, and I thought, oh man, I want to play that thing. Let me go in there.
Let's swap place.
I always wanted the harp, but of course, being in a music family, A, there was not a lot of money, and B, we already had the piano. Then, about 30 some years ago, maybe a little more than 30, I was visiting my sister in northwest Wisconsin, and we went to Stillwater. We were just putzing around looking in the shops in the old warehouse that had been converted, and it has all these hallways. Turn a corner. Oh my God, it's a store full of harps. And I mean, I was like frozen in place for a little while, just staring at it with like the holy grail, you know. So I went in there, and this was Jerry Brown, music makers kits, and he had all these kits that you could build a harp. And my husband said to me, "Well, I can make you one of those." And I said, "Really? Okay, let's get one." So we bought the very cheapest one that was on sale, not knowing a thing about what we were getting. And it was a Hughes Dulcimer kit from Denver, Colorado. And it was a Paraguayan style harp with the tuning levers on the top and the turned pillar. So my husband built me this little harp. And I, like many people out there right now listening to this, I bought Sylvia Woods, Teach Yourself. This was brand new at the time. And I started working through it because I was a pianist. I figured, well, it's just like piano music, but instead of doing this, you're doing this. Boy, I couldn't have been more wrong. So I got to a certain point and I just couldn't play the way I wanted to. And I said to one of my singing buddies, I wish I knew somebody who could teach me how to use my hands right. And she said, her roommate was a harpist. She said, why don't you go to Laura Hearn? She teaches a lot of old people like you. Well, I was 41 at the time, like, oh, thanks. So I went to Laura Hearn, and she was fabulous. She was a pedal harpist. She taught me how to use my hands. She fixed my hand position. She taught me to use brackets. And it was, I only had time to study with her for a few months, and then we moved to Denver. But just those few months with her, I learned so much. It was wonderful. And then I moved around, and I just started playing my own music, doing my own arrangements, using my hands better and arranging with chords and things that I knew and the harmonies that I hear in my head. So since then, I've been arranging and composing stuff for the harp. And eventually, I ended up, that harp exploded because we're so dry in Denver. And my husband bought me a really beautiful triplet Eclipse 38 string. And I played that for quite a while. And then I went out to Seattle with my daughter for an interview she had there. Went to Dusty, played the FH36S, and I just played that harp and played. There was just one there, and I'd seen Kim Robinson play it the night before in a concert. It had a beautiful Celtic thing on the front, and I just went, "Oh my God, I love this harp! This is so fabulous!" So it was time to leave. So I get ready to go. I go up the stairs to the rental car. Oh shoot, I forgot my umbrella. I go back down. I play it some more. Oh, I love this harp. Go up the stairs. Oh, I forgot to buy music for my students. Go down, buy music, play the harp some more. Go up the stairs, stick in the rental car, and I thought, I cannot do the harp here. I got to have that harp with me in Michigan. So I went down the stairs and I bought it. And it transformed what I could do. It has a lighter touch. It has a really warm, beautiful sound. It literally transformed my playing. So later, I fell in love with Kaylee. I played this at Somerset years ago. Bought one for a student who had arthritis, needed a light touch. And by the time I got this harp home from Somerset, I said, "Oh shoot! I hope she doesn't want this because I want to buy it for myself." So no, she loved it. So I bought one for myself. It's transformed my playing again in a different way. I play this one pretty much exclusively now, and I also at Somerset played the DHC 32, the electric. Oh my God, I love the sound of that thing. The rich, fat bass, the dark color of the sound. It was so fabulous. So I thought, you do not need another harp. Stop thinking about that. That's so stupid. You do not need another harp. So I said, no, I'm not going to get this harp. I went home and it was like on my mind all the time. It's like when you're on a diet and there's a chocolate cake in your refrigerator and you know it's there and you really want it. So eventually I called David Darville at the Virginia Harp Center and I said, well, if you ever get another one of those used, I'd like to buy it. And he said, I'll give you a discount on a new one. So I bought a brand new one. And one day, this huge box from France arrived at my house. And now I have, let's see if I can point the camera so you can see it, my DHC. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes.
That's it over there with a big amp and lots of pedals. Oh my God, it's fun. I just love that harp. But it's a different harp again. Once again, it transformed my playing in a way that I play differently on that harp than I do on this one with the sparkly top and the beautiful clean bottom, not needing much damping. So, this has kind of been my harping journey. And I started teaching people long ago. I mean, I've been teaching piano students since I was a teenager. And I started teaching, and eventually I hit on a system that really has worked well for me. So I have a lot of students, and they really do. We have a great time together, and they learn wonderful stuff. And some of them play in my harp ensemble. So, yeah, it's honestly, it's been the best time of my life when I retired from teaching French, which was great too, and started having time 24/7 harps, harps, harps. Ah,
I remember going to your website and looking at a roundup. There's a page that has a roundup of all your harp, and you name them. So if
oh
your
yeah,
audience are interested, they should check it out.
yes, they all have names. This one's the Dusty is Boyach, which is Gaelic for beautiful. Then I bought recently a little um, harpsichle, extra edition because it's got a tighter pull because it fits in the overhead compartment of a plane. Because I do go to Europe pretty often, and I generally rent or borrow a harp while I'm over there. But I wanted one I could just carry around with me. And that one is, well, it's only 26 strings. It's small and it sounds a little bit like a ukulele, but I love it because I can take it with me in this backpack on my back and I have a harp with me all the time, which is wonderful.
Never stop harping. That's the motto.
No, I never stop buying harps either. I mean, harps
Yeah.
don't exist. Every harp is different and every harp is wonderful.
I first learned about your work through my teacher, Josh, who made a recording
Oh,
of one of
nice.
your music. And I end up in your web shop, and I realized you have a humongous collection of music. Tell us about your work as a arranger and composer.
Well, it's funny. I always have heard music. And for me to compose, I just need to sit down here and start playing shapes until something comes, and then suddenly, boom, I have a piece. So I've composed a lot of music over the years, and it's very easy for me to arrange as well because I hear certain unusual harmonies. My music contains a lot of interesting harmonic stuff, and it contains a lot of suspensions. I love the sound of a suspension. This this that suspension sound. I love that. I use that a lot. My All my tunes basically too are written from, they come out of my head, and they're not figured out. scientifically. I know a lot of music theory, but I don't really use that when I write a tune. I just sit down and start playing. And when I hit on something that I really like and I think would be fun for other folks to play, I hit photo booth, I record it, and then I write it down. And so I actually have 10 books, and I sell a lot of singles as well. I'm going to show you all my books here. Here they are. Lots of
Look at
books,
that.
lots of singles. I decided early on that my books should have an interesting cover. So they all have a picture of me with something in front of me that covers up most of my face, like my
Yeah,
scar.
that one is my favorite because it makes me want to eat and play the harp. It's like two of my favorite things.
People always ask me because I go to Scotland so often, do you like haggis? Yeah. What's not to like about haggis?
What are some of your most popular tunes?
Oh, well, by far I would say this one. Summer Dreamin' is very simple to play. It's based on the seven chord and root chord position, and then the middle part is based on what I call the medium chord, which is the first inversion chord. And it's really easy to play, but it's very relaxing. It has the feeling of a hammock on a summer day, just swinging in a hammock, looking up at the sky. Let me play you a little bit of it. So that's all seven chords. That's what it starts out like. Probably should play up higher so you can see. It's just real relaxing. A lot of therapists, harp therapy people like to use that too. Um, I don't know why I've sold so many of that. The other one that I've really sold a lot of is this one, Eventide. I don't know why this one sold a lot either. I have no idea. It was published in Folk Harp Journal, and I got a lot of interest from it, and so I started selling singles of that. And that's also in my book, Gentle Tunes.
Tell
But
me about this book because that is the one I'm eyeing.
yeah, this is so I try to write a new book every year for Somerset and have something new for folks who like my music. And so the year before last, I wrote this one, Wonderful Tunes from Wales. Oh my gosh, Wales has such wonderful music. I mean, researching this, I just started keeping a list, and pretty soon I had like 100 tunes that I thought were absolutely fabulous, and I had to narrow it down to 12. But the past year, I wrote these two. A lot of folks are interested in harp therapy now, and I have a lot of gentle tunes. So this one is nice tunes for harp therapists. Nothing fast and jiggy or anything. They're all gentle and slow airs, beautiful airs. And then I've had a lot of requests for stuff that's easier to play because I love left hand and I love chords. So my arrangements tend to have a big left hand and a lot of chorded stuff in the right hand for harmony. So I made another book. This is more for middle of the road beginners, maybe upper level beginners. And oh yeah, that's my grandson.
Oh, that is adorable.
When he comes over, I let him play my tiny harp. But this one is also good for folks who have a smaller harp. A lot of folks now are starting out with a harpsichord or one of the smaller harps. And this goes down to, for most of them, go down to C, which fits a smaller harp. But gentle tunes, I started writing, and I started arranging. And before long, I had, let me just see here, I had, well, they're not numbered, but I think there are 25 tunes in this book.
There's a lot.
And there, a lot of them are very, very good for harp therapy. I wrote one tune called The Lighthouse, and I wrote this tune, and I thought, I don't know if this is any good or not. I'm going to just write it down and give it to my students to try. So one of my students has an autistic son, and he loved this song so much that for a while she couldn't find the music because he had taken it and hidden it where she couldn't find it because he wanted it for himself. And she would play it and he'd say, again, please, again, please, again, please. She played it over and over and over. And I think it's the repetitive feel of the music really appealed to him. And he also likes the Dance of the Fairy Folk, which is in Gentle Tunes. He calls it firefly music. So yeah, so it's just been a joy for me to write special tunes for folks. Folks ask me for a tune and I make an arrangement or I write a tune. One of my favorite tunes in this book is, I was listening to your interview with Ailey Robinson the other day. she said she likes the different colors and textures of the notes. And I do the exact same thing. I really feel that. So I wrote a tune called Black and White, Dark and Light. And it's based on my feeling that certain chords are dark and some and the others are bright and light. And the contrast of those. And I kind of doubt anybody's ever even tried to play this because I don't know, it looks kind of weird.
It
It's
does. Do
weird.
you mind playing us a line just so we can get a taste of it?
I love it. And it's slow and it's just kind of weird. And you can hear the different I hear the difference between, for example, I gotta remember how to play this. I don't know, that sounds pretty light to me. And then this one sounds dark. Oh, I can't even remember how to play this.
I really enjoy the contrast in the different chords.
Here's the contrast. Bright, light, and then
Okay.
dark, dark, bright. Bright. So it's the dark against the light, and I don't know if everybody hears that, but I hear it very strongly, and it's always intrigued me. So
Lovely.
yeah, there's a lot of really interesting music in there, and that's an unusual one because it's not necessarily for therapy. It's just something that I personally like experimenting with. You know, this dark and light stuff. But I mean, let me just tell you a few of the tunes that are in here, because therapists might like to know that there there are some tunes that you might know. Believe Me for All Those Endearing Young Charms, Bonnie at Morn. Oh, I love that tune. I love that tune. Wayfaring Stranger. Um, the Lochte Boat song. Oh, beautiful song. There's one in here that's was written for me by one of my friends on Skye, the Isle of Skye, where I go to study Gaelic. And she sent me this tune. It's called The Harpist at the Fairy Door. And she plays a gigantic harmonica, what do you call it? Accordion. And so it was just like a lead sheet. It was just a tune. And I did an arrangement and sent it back to her. And I really like this little tune. It's very Scottish sounding, and it's just really fun to play. Uh, there's just a lot of fun things in here. There's one piece in here that I really, really love. I took my little tiny harpsichord with me when I went to England the last time, and I was in Salisbury where the cathedral is. I don't know if you've ever seen that cathedral, but it's absolutely magnificent. It's a magical place. And at night, when it was dusk and the sky was pink and blue and beautiful, and the temperature was just gentle, I took this little harp over and I sat on the steps of the cathedral. It was closed, and inside I would hear they were repairing and tuning the organ. So it'd be silent for a while, and then there'd be this blast of organ music that would just rattle the windows, and then it would be silent again. So I sat there and I wrote this little piece. So here's a little bit of it. It's just real rolly and gentle, and it's what came to me when I sat there on the steps of Salisbury Cathedral. It's just weird where the I don't know where the music comes from. You know,
It's very fascinating for me to hear story of where people get the inspiration for their music. It
I have
comes from
no
all kinds of places and unexpected sources, but it translates into music really well, which I think it's the magic of music. You can paint a picture of many things, and it might,
yeah,
yeah, and it
um,
communicate a feeling, it communicates a mood, an atmosphere, which I think is so
absolutely.
magical.
Absolutely, and every so often I'm in a place, and that's why I wanted to take a little harp with me, where some wonderful music comes to me, and I just play it and write it down. I think it just comes from somewhere down
Mhm.
into my head and into my fingers. I don't know where it
That's
comes from.
awesome.
I have no idea where it comes from, but yeah, but I love to write, and I love to arrange. I love to take a common tune that everybody knows and give it a different spin, give it a different sound that might be surprising. I love doing that kind of thing. Absolutely.
You
That's
mentioned earlier that your music has a lot of patterns in it. And I know
absolutely
Magic Hands is something that you have introduced to the world, and a lot of your music use a lot of the patterns. Is that
absolutely.
true?
You do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
we have a separate video on Magic Hands, so we're not going to belabor it. But can you do a little demo for us?
Magic hands is common brackets that occur in Celtic music, and a lot of it's probably in all music, but especially in Celtic music. And once you learn the shape of that bracket, you can place it on any note anywhere. Like this is a 7 chord. I can place that anywhere because I know it's skip, skip, skip. This is a crab. I can place that anywhere. Put a top on it. All I'm doing there is a 4-2-1 left hand and crab, 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 crab on the top. And these little shapes, once you know them, it's shorthand. You don't have to read every note in the bracket. You mark the bracket and then you just place it on the first note and play it. And it gives you a lot more solidity and a lot more flow in your playing. So a lot of my students have found it really helpful. So I'm trying to send the word out to the world that this exists so anyone who was interested can give it a try.
Yeah, and we have a Heart Toolbox episode on the Magic Hands, so check it out for more details, and there will be links on how to purchase the course in that video, and we'll post it
Yeah,
in here as well.
the course, and I have a lot of books, and I showed you, and they're all on my website, and they're really very cheap. A lot of folks that I know who write wonderful books are kind of shocked that I sell them so cheaply. Frankly, they don't like that because it undercuts what they're selling. I don't care. I want people to have my music. I want them to enjoy my music. I want it to get it out there so that people all around the world can just have the pleasure of if these songs give you pleasure, I want you to have them. You know.
Well, I'm sure we're going to be very appreciative of being able to access some of your music because after hearing your demo today, I think there's a couple ones that I definitely would like to pick up myself.
Oh, thank you. I'll be doing a vendor hall, Somerset vendor hall as I always do, and I'm working now on getting more recordings of these tunes so people can hear what they sound like. So I hope that by the time the Somerset Harp Festival comes around, it's in July this year, I believe, that I will have many, many recordings for folks to listen to when they go into my vendor hall area. Kathy D'Angelo has worked hard to create a brand new format that's kind of like being there in person and walking around to each booth. And we're all working hard to make those booths interesting and fun and hands on. So if you are interested in my music, hopefully by then there'll be a lot of it for you to listen to.
Sounds good. You mentioned you have a harp ensemble earlier. Tell us
I
a little bit more.
I do. It's mainly students of mine, or former students, or folks that just love to play. And once a year too, I always have a harp party. Couldn't last year, of course, but there are a lot of harpers in this area, and they all come cram into my house, and we play stuff together, and they play stuff for us, and we play little harp games. Like I send them all into the kitchen, and I play 3 different harps, and they try to guess which one it is, by how it sounds. I know we just do a lot of fun stuff. But the harp ensemble. I write stuff for them every year for a show that I do in the spring. I write a big show for our local library, and they just great. Anything I write, they are willing to work hard to learn it, and we have a lot of fun playing together. We do gigs together, especially in the summer, outdoor gigs, and I'm hoping we can start up again this summer. That would be so great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just wonderful to have these lovely people who are so willing to put in the time to learn this music and play it with me. I so appreciate them. It's great fun, really
In
fun.
one of my interviews with Anna Dunwoody, she talked about the importance of playing with other harpists because we don't tend to have that opportunity to play with other harpists very easily.
we are very isolated oftentimes.
Mhm.
And just to be able to, maybe that should be my next book, some of my harp ensemble music. I'll have to think about that. But just to sit and play the same tune together, and the different vibration of all those harps, the colors of it, and just the fun of enjoying making music with friends. That's why I love Scotland. I go over there, and when you're in a ceilidh and someone sings a tune and we all know it, we all sing along. It's not performance and audience, it's the community enjoyment of making music together. And that's so important to me. That's really, really a great aspect of music.
Awesome. Well, I had a lot of fun getting to perusing your web store, getting to know your work,
Oh,
and also Magic Hand. Thank you so much for spending the time and tell us about what you do. And I look forward to sharing this with our audience.
thank you so much. I really appreciate you helping me get the word out about what I have to offer other people. And I hope that they can enjoy it as much as I have enjoyed making it for them.
I'm sure they will. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks.